Good day and welcome to the DB Corp Limited Q3 and 9 months FY22 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Amrita Pujari. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you and good evening to everyone. We welcome you to the DB Corp Limited Q3 and 9 months FY22 post earnings conference call. We have with us today the senior management team of DB Corp Limited, Mr. Pawan Agarwal, Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Girish Agarwal, Non-Executive Director, Mr. PG Mishra, Group CFO, Mr. Mushtaq Ali, Vice President, Mr. Lalit Jain, CGM, and Mr. Prasun Kumar Pandey, Head, Investor and Media Relations, who will represent DB Corp Limited on the call. We will be sharing the key operating and financial highlights for the quarter and 9 months ended 31st December 2021, followed by question and answer session. Before we begin, we would like to state that some of the statements made in today's discussion may be forward-looking in nature and may involve risk and uncertainties. Documents relating to the company's financial performance have already been emailed to you and are available on the website of the stock exchanges and the company's investor section. We trust you have been able to go through the same. I now invite Mr. Pawan Agarwal to share his outlook on DB Corp's performance for the quarter. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Amrita, and good evening to everyone, and thank you for joining the Q3FY 2022 DB Corp Earnings Conference call. Hope you and your family are healthy and keeping safe in the current situation. We will begin the call today by highlighting the key financial performance for the quarter ended December 31st, 2021, followed by operational updates during the quarter. Let me tell you, the first 2 quarters of the fiscal were seen as a precursor to the economy's journey to normalcy after a difficult FY21. Although the second had a significant impact on economic activity, partly affecting first half of current financial year, it was short-lived, and by the time the third quarter began, we had already begun witnessing signs of significant uptick. Third quarter, which had significant Indian festivals, saw a strong rebound of activities, especially in the non-metro cities, tier 2, tier 3 towns. And this was witnessed by the return of new and traditional advertisers in a very big way as they looked up to tap the pent-up demand everywhere. Consolidated revenues, advertising revenues grew by almost 8% at rupees 3,951 million in quarter 3 FY 2022 as against rupees 3,667 million in the previous year. And our circulation revenues stood at rupees 1,141 million, higher by 6% on a YOY basis, and the total revenues came in at rupees 5,495 million, higher by 11% on a YOY basis. And as a result, the operating profit stood at rupees 1,459 million, which was helped by the continuing benefits of our overall cost control measures, which was slightly offset by higher newsprint prices, although we believe that these prices should settle back to normal in the next few quarters. Our consolidated PAT stood at rupees 865 million in Q3 FY 2022. Moving to our digital business, over the past few quarters, we had commenced implementing a strong and focused strategy of investment, which continues to show strong growth on a sustainable basis. We are focused on creating best-in-class, ad-free user experience on our digital applications as well as websites while maintaining high-quality, insightful content. Our reader-centric focus continues in the digital sphere as well, and we have done this recognizing the importance of having a very strong presence in the digital space to ensure that our readers continue to engage with us across mediums. And we are very happy to report that these efforts have yielded great results. In a short span of time, the Dainik Bhaskar app monthly users have increased to around 14 million in November 21 compared to just 2 million in January 2020. What is significant in these results is that while we have been consistently demonstrating remarkable growth in our active user base, We also crossed the important milestone of achieving a million mark in daily average e-newspaper downloads. Of this, over 850,000 downloads are for Dainik Bhaskar Hindi and 150,000 for Divya Bhaskar Gujarati, making the Dainik Bhaskar group a dominant number one Hindi and Gujarati news app player, while continuing to be on course to further increasing the user base and extending the lead. The efforts of our digital team are overseen by an advisory board, and that has recently taken on board Mr. Mark Thompson, ex-CEO of the New York Times, who has spearheaded New York Times digital transformation over the last decade. Apart from this, we've also focused on onboarding experienced talent from the industry, and our strong technology team has a consumer product and tech background and has been drawn from India's best consumer tech companies. We are positive that the team will continue to expand Dainik Bhaskar's digital journey this year as well. Coming to the radio division, in the 9 months of FY2022, our market share for MyFM has increased. Volume growth gained momentum across sectors such as lifestyle, real estate, banking, state government, and FMCG for the quarter. For the Q3 FY2022, the revenue from the radio division came in at rupees 376 million, higher by 29% on a YOY basis. With this, I would now request Mr. Girish Agarwal to update us on the operations. Over to you, Mr. Girish Agarwal.
Thank you, Pawan, and good evening, everybody. And I hope that in this current wave, everybody continues to remain safe and healthy. The quarter gone by has seen a strong return of both the Indian consumer to the market and for us, the advertisers also. This festival season, especially Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, has seen a remarkable resurgence of demand, and this was visible on the ground. In fact, our advertising revenues are a testament to this fact. Our well-calibrated circulation strategy has enabled us to not only increase our circulation to bring it to the levels of immediate pre-COVID, but have also been able to do so along with the cover price increase in select market, which is being rolled out on a select city basis. We still see headroom for possibility of yield increase in our newspapers cover price and will continue to review and execute the same in the coming months and years. We are confident that our leadership position in the market that we operate in will only enhance in the future. On the advertising front, undoubtedly, the festival season has been very good. We are also beginning to witness newer sectors looking for geo-controlled ad campaigns and new age players looking to tap the non-metro markets, all coming to us. Given our wide reach and strong editorial integrity that results, this has helped us in delivering growth on these numbers. There is a paradigm shift happening in the way advertisers are looking at Indian language newspapers in Tier 2 and 3 cities. On our financial performance and cost optimization, if you recollect during our last interaction, we had apprised you that we continue to focus on sustainable cost optimization, and therefore we will see resultant improvement in our margins. During the last financial year, we had saved around 195 crores in these operating costs, and we had indicated to you that 45%, around 40 to 50% of these savings are sustainable. We remain committed to this cost optimization and are happy to report that in the 9 months ended December 31st, 2021, we exceeded our targets of 50% of this achievement, and we were able to take this saving up to almost 65-70% of FY21's cost saving. Resultantly, the print business EBITDA in Q3 of FY 2022 came in at around rupees 1590 million with an EBITDA margin of 31%. Our current, also important, I want to announce that our current pledge of shares from the promoter side is now come down to around 4% with a loan outstanding of only rupees 25 crores, and we are working towards clearing the same in next 2 months' time, as we already communicated with you. That is all from our side, and therefore my colleagues and I would be happy to respond to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. First question is from the line of Himanshu Upadhyay from O3 Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, and congratulations on good set of numbers.
Good afternoon.
Really heartwarming numbers with 92% circulation coming back and even the revenue, the ad revenues coming back. It's very good and a pleasant surprise. Okay. So really appreciate the amount of work which has gone in the business.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, my first question was, we had investment properties in lieu of advertisements of rupees 94 crore in March 2021. Okay. What is it currently? Secondly, with revival of real estate, can we expect this to reduce to below rupees 50 crores? And finally, are builders having the strength to pay more in check than in area for sales? We are seeing revival in real estate, and we have also spoken. So hence, this is one question. So if you can elaborate on these three,
Yes,
it will be helpful.
So on the real estate barter side, as you are aware that from last few years we are not doing any further barter because we already have enough stock piled up. We've been able to liquidate some number, almost some last quarter itself we've been able to sell around 8-10 properties. We have recovered some money, but at the same time some possessions which were not earlier with us has been added on to RKT. So our endeavor is that we want to liquidate as many properties as we can do as fast. And which we are in the process. So we've been finalizing. In fact, we have now signed up a deal with a couple of the builders on buybacking the property. So for example, if we have done a barter with say 5 crore rupee value with a particular builder, so we are requesting them because the market is on upside, they are able to sell the property better than us. So we are giving that back to them and taking money, cash from them and giving them slightly extended credit period so that they are able to pay that money to us. So we are all efforts on it, and I'm happy that maybe next quarter again, we'll come back to you with a list of at least 10-20 property further sold.
Okay. And one more thing. We are hearing that the inventory is pretty low in real estate and number of launches are increasing almost in all the markets. Okay. And we have presence in some of the larger markets like Patna, Ahmedabad, Jaipur. Are we doing anything special to get more share of revenue from this particular segment, because this is the most reviving sector as of now, even better than autos and some of the other segments which were doing earlier better. So some thoughts on your special efforts if you are putting for this segment to get more revenue.
Yeah, certainly. So in real estate category, we have certainly seen an uptake. If you see Q3 itself, so there has been almost 13% growth on Q3 in terms of real estate advertising with us. Apart from that, in most of these markets, we are trying to be innovative to see how we are able to help these builders to liquidate their properties. Unfortunately, in the December month, we lost out some traction because of the COVID. The government guidelines were not allowing people to hold a real estate mela, property exposition and all that. But I think this is one area we're focused on, and it is one of the top category for us right now.
Okay. One last question. On the paper price, we have said that we expect paper prices to come off. But what is the current trajectory? And when we see the inventory days have also reduced. Okay. So has there been an absolute number reduction in the inventory days, or the means in crores, or it is just because the revenue has increased, so the inventory days are?
Yeah, the revenue has increased for two reasons. As we know that we have taken the circulation cover price increase. We have increased the cover price. Our average price realization has gone up by almost 7% in this quarter 3 itself. And also if you see the cover, are further working on this, that there is a headroom. We still believe in the cover price, and we want to increase the cover price going forward also. So maybe because of that has happened. But having said that, the newsprint quantum to acquire right now from the market is a challenge, as well as the price.
Okay, thank you. I'll join back in queue for further queries.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Aditya Sen from Robo Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So in the previous con call, in quarter two's con call, it was mentioned that price hike will happen in quarter three and quarter four. So are there any further price hikes going to happen in the next financial year?
This price hike, you're talking about the newsprint or the newspaper?
Newsprint.
Yeah. So let me give you the number. Last year in the quarter three, we were in the range of around 35,000 rupees a ton. This year, in this Q3, the price is almost around 44,000 rupees a ton. And going forward, it looks like that next couple of quarters are also going to be on the growth trend, only because the market demand and supply, there is an issue. And also, the mills are trying to convert themselves into the packaging paper. Hence the focus on the newsprint manufacturing is less, and they're asking for the price.
Okay, thank you. And there's one more question. So in the last con call also, you mentioned that our market share was supposed to increase. So what's the current scenario? What is the current market share that we have?
In circulation terms, our market share in state of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh has certainly gone up, including Haryana also. In the advertising numbers from the market share perspective, I'm happy to inform that in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana, even Bihar, our market share has improved.
Great. Thanks a lot. Can you give us a figure like what's the market share in terms of percentage?
You will appreciate we don't disclose the state-wise figure because of the competition issue. But if you see the overall number, the numbers are increasing by at least 1 or 2% in each market.
1-2%. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll fall back in the queue.
Thank you. Anyone who wishes to ask a question at this time, they may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Shivam Satyanath from ICICI Bank. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for taking my question.
Thank you.
So just wanted to understand how is this Q4 being panning out? Because of this, this was a Q3 was a more of a festive season, but in Q4, are you seeing some spending cuts from advertisers or some because of the Omicron also? Are you seeing any some downtick in the advertising volume or advertisers or circulation, anything because of this Omicron?
So let me give you the flavor of Q3, which can help us understand Q4. So if you see the Q3 number of this year, and I compare them with pre-COVID Q3 number of 1920, we are currently at 93% of Q3 of 1920. That too without the government advertising this year with us. So if I include the government advertising, then actually we are slightly better than the Q3 of 1920 also. That clearly indicated that the print advertising has come back to the normal level. Unfortunately, from December 15th onwards, this third wave started coming in. It impacted the market. And January, as we see currently, also was impacted by that. Fortunately, this 26th January, that 26th January is supposed to be a big advertising day for us. It went up by 3% over 2019. So things as of now looking like coming back to the track, but keeping our fingers crossed, because what happened the moment the number of cases goes up, state governments announce the restrictions on the number of people going to be out. Like for example, January is a big wedding month, but because of restrictions of 50 people, 100 people in the wedding, the entire thing goes down. So I think that is one thing which is still bothering us. We are hopeful that this whole thing is almost behind us now, so that the month of February, March would be there in full swing.
Okay, and also on the newsprint prices, when you are seeing it will peak out? So are you seeing it will continue to moving up, or you have said that it will come down? But what is your top? Any thoughts on that?
Frankly speaking, on newsprint, every possible assumptions what people have made across the globe has gone for a toss. So we are not sure whether this is peaked already or will peak up in next quarter. But as of now, what indications we have, for at least next 2 quarters, the numbers will increase.
Okay. And the last question is on the number of new advertisers. You are saying that new advertisers are coming.
Yes.
So any thoughts on that? They are the new age companies are coming, or what sort? Old advertisement is there. So basically, the brands are getting advertised. Just want to understand that, or the old is more. What is the proportion of new and old, if any thoughts on that?
Certainly, the old, when you say old, it slightly looks derivative to them, but they are not old. Companies like Tata Group or Reliance Group, they are still advertising big way with us. But at the same time, the new advertisers, for example, the cryptocurrency guys, the mobile app guys on the health and the grocery and all that, they are also coming and advertising big way with us. But that quantum-wise, if I look at, the traditional established advertisers are certainly on the higher number.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is on the line of Varun Bang from Reliance PMS. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Congratulations, sir. So just want to understand advertisements for government. Have we started seeing any traction there, and what is your expectation?
Unfortunately, for some unknown reason, the government advertising for our group in few states has been not being coming to us last almost 2 or 3 quarters. But we are hoping that they would like to advertise with us so that our readers get their message. So I'm sure in next couple of months that will come back to us.
Okay, all right. And sir, we have reduced few editions in markets like Himachal Pradesh and made one edition there. So any more opportunities to reduce further? Where do you think there is a scope?
No, we are not reducing anywhere. We are only optimizing the printing editions, where all we can do the more optimization of the printing presses.
Okay, all right. And on number of advertisers, you said you are seeing strong traction. Can you please share ballpark numbers? How much increase we have seen in advertisers, both on radio as well as newspaper side?
Revenue numbers are already with you. We have grown by 24% in the 9 months. But the number of advertisers, I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. And lastly, on strategy for new markets. So would you like to focus on strengthening presence in the current markets, or we are looking to get into new markets? So what is the strategy there?
Absolutely, our focus from last couple of years has been on our existing market, because we strongly believe that markets of Gujarat, Bihar, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, they still offer a huge opportunity for the growth. So we are working on these markets only.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddhant Mahata from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. Good evening. So 2 questions. First of all, for circulation revenues, there is a slight Q1Q decline. In the last few years there has been some mostly flat only. So are we seeing some pressures in volumes in circulation copies, or is it how do you approach circulation?
See, what is happening in circulation, we certainly has lost some copies. As we mentioned to you, we had a 92% of our immediate pre-COVID. So what copies we have lost is the railway station copy. We have lost some office copies, marketplace copies, and also some residential copies, I must say that. Yeah.
Not from YOY perspective. I'm talking about a quarter-on-quarter perspective. Like, is there some pressure in circulation copies, or has circulation copies gone down quarter-on-quarter?
No, quarter-on-quarter there's been a growth, but I'm actually talking about last 3 years, because see, I have to see wherever I was at the top. If I was at a particular number, and I need to go back to that number, or at least go as close to again, rather than being happy that from last quarter I've increased. I still have a long way to go. So our focus is that how do we gain those copies which have been stopped in the offices or in the marketplace, how we can attract people back that, because uncertainty, because what happened, 3 months good, then suddenly market get closed for 15 days. the shopkeepers and all that, they are not able to start the newspaper. So we are trying to convince them that, you may continue the newspaper in your shops and offices also.
Okay. Okay. And the 7% number you gave earlier about some realizations, what was that? That was a YOY number in cover price, or what was that number? I missed out.
It's a YOY number on the realization of the average cover price.
Okay, average cover price. And my last question is regarding we have seen other expenses growing around 28%, and it will reach the third quarter of FY20 levels. I know you have been saving a lot of cost, and that's a very good sign. But is there some one-off in this quarter, or do we expect the similar range going forward also?
Okay, there are two things in this. One is there is an element of almost 40% element is of the digital. So digital is growing, so we need to spend some money in the marketing and over there. Apart from that, within the other expenditure, there's an increase of the ink and plate, certain business promotion, which are revenue based. So I'm incurring the expenses as a business promotion here, but I'm also adding on that money into my revenue. For example, organizing a real estate expo. So if I'm spending 1 crore and organizing the expo, it is shown as expenses here, but there's a 3 crore revenue in the advertising revenue over there. Also, there are 1 or 2 heads which are shifted from manpower to the outsourcing here. So that shifting is shown into the other cost.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yash from JK Associates. Please go ahead.
Hi. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So my first question is with regards to the ad revenue. Now, I just, was just listening. So yield, I believe, continues to be under pressure, but though there has been an improvement sequentially, could you please let us know, how much has the volume increased, in terms of pre-COVID Q3 FY20? If you can just give us that number in terms of percentage.
So the top line number what I have is that if I compare the Q3 of 1920 to Q3 of 21-22, we are at almost 93% of 1920.
Correct.
Having said that, the pressure is on the yield is there, but I would say the pressure is now being stabilized. Now whatever growth is coming from the volume only.
So how much are we in terms of recovery or in terms of growth?
I would say the entire money which is coming back is from the volume only, because yield is already fixed. This is not a time to go and ask anybody to increase the yield. It's more the time to talk about the volume coming back.
Okay. And what about the copies that we have?
Circulation copies in this quarter we are doing, 43.4 lakh is the average copy for the Q3 this year.
Okay. And where are we in terms of year on year, or probably
year on year? The same 1 year back we were at 43.8. So there's been a 40,000 copies decline over last year.
Why is that the case, if I may ask?
That is also because of the December month third wave coming in. So
okay.
We stopped certain copies there.
And in terms of, as compared to 2 years before, we are at around 95% is what you said.
Around 90%.
90%.
Yeah.
Okay. And newsprint, like you said, we are at 44,000 for the quarter.
Yes, 44,000 for this quarter.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Amit Kumar from Determined Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. I just had one sort of small follow-up. You did mention that, January you have seen, little bit of impact, because of the Omicron wave. Just wanted to sort of get a sense of, the quantum of the impact, because very, very clearly, the first wave and then, second wave in first quarter of, this fiscal was pretty intense. But when we are sort of talking to, companies which are really your clients, Omicron doesn't seem to have, that much of an impact really. So, are we talking like a few percentage points, here or there, or it could potentially be like a 10% impact in terms of advertising.
Around 10% plus minus.
But that's January, or you're sort of anticipating some improvement during the quarter as well?
No, for the month of January, as of now, since we are sitting on closure of January, the impact has been around 10%.
Understood.
Negative, actually.
That's it from my end. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is on the line of Tarvesh Sangoi from DS Associates. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you for updating the numbers on the app users. Can you throw some light on where we are on the Google revenue, which you had mentioned some couple of quarters ago?
So, sir, as you are aware about that, Google was not able to take the publishers along, and there's a body called DNPA, Digital Newspapers Association. They have filed a complaint in Competition Commission of India, alleging that Google has not been fair and using the unfair practices and involved in the monopolistic activities and all that. Based on that, CCI was kind enough to order a probe against Google on this. So we are now waiting for that. Once that gets over in a couple of months' time, we'll have more clarity about how Google and our relationship go in future.
And what about the other players? Similar stance or some development on the other players?
Some companies had succumbed to the pressure, and they have done some side deals with Google. I really won't know much detail on that.
Okay. Also, one of your competitors has launched the NFT platform. Where are we as a company on that?
Sorry, what platform?
NFT platform.
Pawan, you would like to answer that?
We are still evaluating what's the commercial sense and the user adoption of that. We are still in the learning phase of it.
Okay.
So soon. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Next question is a follow-up question from the line of Himanshu Upadhyay from O3 Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for giving me another opportunity. Can you tell us about how much has been the utilization of capacity for our radio advertisement versus last quarter? And what is it currently in Q4? And any improvements in rates have we seen in radio side? The results have been good, so just to understand how you are thinking about that business.
So in radio, the good news is that we have grown over last year. We've also grown over the year 1920. We're about 1% positive on 1920. So we've got the base back. We are now only working on getting our yields back. And once the yields are back, we'll be very robust for a strong double-digit growth this year.
So the utilization is full, or how much would it be versus historical? So
utilization, our inventory utilization across the network is sitting at about what we call it, how many minutes we play per hour, which is at about some 14-15 minutes across stations.
Okay. And we also said about newsprint prices will continue to increase for next few quarters. Any improvement in rates for newspaper advertisement do you expect, or you think the more ads will keep on coming? So just your thoughts on how would you see the raw material and what you are doing about it? Some thoughts on that.
Sorry, I missed that question. Can you repeat it again for me, please?
Yeah, so I was asking on the newsprint prices are increasing and we expect them to further increase, okay?
Yes.
So what are we doing on the rest side? Are we seeing any improvement in rates for newspaper advertisement?
As I mentioned to you a couple of minutes ago to somebody else's question, that maybe this is not the right time to ask for a yield improvement. We are gunning for more the volume back in the market. Because advertiser is also pressed. For example, if you look at the four-wheeler category, they are down by more than 50% advertising value and volume both, because they are not producing anything much. So idea is that if they start producing, they should come back to the market advertising. And once things settle down, we can always talk about rates also.
Okay. Because some of the other categories are doing pretty well where you stated like real estate where you are doing special melas and all those things.
Yeah, but over there, real estate, yeah, in some cases we have been able to do something, but nothing worthwhile to talk about, to be very honest.
Okay. And one last question. We have done pretty good job in getting digital subscribers, okay? But the one important question still remains, how and what would be the metrics you will utilize to decide when to commercialize, okay? Because the product may be great, okay, but selling is an equally important part and a challenge, okay? So how do you decide that moment of truth or time to commercialize has come for you?
I think we all are waiting for that eureka moment, and that's a $1 billion question you've asked, and we all are searching the answer for that. But having said that, I strongly believe that today, if from 2 million we are at 14 million, and if we are able to take the journey ahead, then I think the day when we can start asking people to pay us something for that won't be too far.
Okay, and one small thing. If globally there have been platforms where which were not charging and then they started charging, okay? So generally, what is the drop rate? Means once the platform becomes chargeable, any study you would have done across the globe because and what are the results of those studies if you would have done some?
Let me explain you. So what happens when the platform becomes chargeable? People don't drop out. Why? Because it's like they put a gate entry after certain articles. So for example, if you are reading articles on my website or my app, so maybe couple of paragraphs are allowed for you free. But if you want to go deeper in the article, you may have to subscribe and pay for it. Or you are allowed 5 articles or 30 articles, 10 articles free in a month. But if you are reading more, then you'll have to pay for it. So people, those who don't want to pay, they stand within that zone of free. But some people, those who feel that I want to read everything as such, then they pay and get into the main hall. So similarly, there is no drop. But what happens if you have, say, 100,000 people, those who are reading your app on a particular time in a day, maybe 10% are paying for everything and 90% are still enjoying the outer circle of it.
One last thing. So currently we are not even advertising or letting advertisers come on that platform, okay? And not charging also. So how would we decide that first we want ads to come or we want to start getting paid for the services?
I think very valid question, and let me answer that. We have understood now that our readers have got used to a particular environment, and we are planning to start advertising in next couple of months in a very subtle manner, where it doesn't become very intruding for the reader. At the same time, helps us in that revenue purpose also.
Okay, thank you. And one small suggestion, sir.
Please, sir.
See, in this media industry, everybody is evolving, but still the fight is that the perception, okay, and the investor or the sentiment is that this industry will not survive, okay, which is a contrarian. I am a contrarian to that thought.
Okay.
But I think we make decent amount of money. We pay once in a year dividend. But just if we signal to the market that we will be a regular dividend payers or quarterly, and we believe in the sustainability of the business as a sustainable, profitable business quarter by quarter, it might help in changing the perception of it. So this is one suggestion I have.
I think you have a very valid point. Suggestion noted. I will certainly table it to the board. But just wanted to add on to this. If you look at the history of DB Corp, we've been a regular dividend paying company. And we announce dividend quarterly also. There would be some exceptions in few quarters where the dividend has not been announced for some reason. Otherwise, we've been announcing dividend. And also the company has a policy that we don't keep any excess cash on our balance sheet. So whatever is the requirement for the company, we keep that, very little amount, and balance all is announced as a dividend.
Yeah, so that quarterly may help in changing the perception, and the fight is with the perception currently for the industry.
I appreciate your point, sir, and we certainly table it to the board.
Thanks from my side.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Anish Jovalia from Banyan Capital. Please go ahead.
Sir, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. And congratulations for a great quarter. Now, if you look at advertisement versus pre-COVID, we are down by 7%, and and in the circulation, we are still down by 14%, right?
Yes, sir.
Despite the fact that the circulation had recovered much faster than the advertising. So I think that's a fantastic execution from your side. Sir, given now your initial commentary around, very strong sentiments from advertisers, and also you mentioned about the tier 2, tier 3, and tier 1 towns. So now, given the, this quarter we are down by only we are down by 7% versus pre-COVID. So can we say that with the kind of sentiments that has now come back, we are going to be back to the FY20 revenue levels in the advertisement, especially in FY23. So what's your outlook around that? If there is no lockdown quarter like Q1 which we saw in this year.
Sir, आप COVID को संभाल लो, मैं advertising को संभाल लूँगा. So if somebody can say that okay, there will be no COVID issues happening, certainly we are more than confident to deliver the numbers what you are just mentioning. You look at this 26 January number. On 26 January number, in spite of all the odds, we delivered a 3% growth on that one particular day compared to 2019 also. So I think we are all geared up to say that yes, as the market improves, as the condition in the market improves, we are all set to take the maximum advantage of that.
And so which are the sectors which are driving this? If you could give some color around that, would be helpful, sir.
So education, real estate, jewelry, new mobile apps like grocery, health, and all these guys are the major driver for the business. The downers are automobile, lifestyle, government.
Okay, so you are very confident that the sentiments of the advertisers have come back very sharply. And obviously, we are making our own efforts to improve the quality of our product and improve the market share, etc. So, if there is no turbulence in terms of the lockdown impacts going incrementally, then we will be crossing the FY20 levels in FY23, right?
That's what we are all working upon.
Okay, sir. All the very best for the next year.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. A reminder to our participants, please press star and 1 if you wish to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Aditya Sen from Robo Capital. Please go ahead.
Most of my questions are already answered. I have just one question left. That do we have any guidance in terms of margins going forward?
Sir, as we indicated to you that we are 7% away from the 19 number in the Q3. Mm-hmm. If everything goes well, January, as I had mentioned to you, around 10% plus some down over 19 again. So if we are able to see the February, March clear from the market perspective, then I think things are looking pretty good.
Okay, so can we assume that by Q1 FY23, the 7% will also get covered, given that we have a 10% shortfall this month?
Let's hope so, sir.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Let's hope so.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Laksh Jain as an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You have mentioned that there has been an increase in newsprint cover price, right?
Yes, sir.
And is this price able to cover the newsprint cost?
In some market, yes. In some market, no. It depends on the market to market. So what number I gave you is the average number of the company.
Okay. And in some markets, are we able to get profits also only from this newsprint cost, covering the newsprint cost?
No, sir. Not yet.
Okay. And are we planning to enter into business newspaper?
No, sir. We have no such idea. We already have a great business section within our paper. Through that only we serve our readers.
That's it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Basant Baheti from Basant Baheti Investments. Please go ahead.
सर, हिंदुस्तान के सबसे बड़े हिंदी पेपर के लिए एक प्रश्न उत्तर हिंदी में भी होना जरूरी है।
बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका सर।
इसलिए मैं प्रश्न हिंदी में पूछना चाहूंगा। सर, मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि जिस तरह से शेयर होल्डर के लिए कई बार जब कंपनी 2-3 साल लगातार तकलीफ में निकलती है और डिविडेंड तो आप अच्छा देते हैं, पर डिविडेंड के अलावा भी शेयर होल्डर का बूस्टअप बढ़ाने के लिए क्या आप बोनस डिक्लेयर नहीं कर सकते? मैंने भारत की बहुत सारी ऐसी कंपनियों को देखा है जो शेयर होल्डर का कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ाने के लिए यदि वो 1-2 साल तकलीफ में रहती है तो बोनस के माध्यम से बताना चाहती है कि हम आपके साथ हैं।
आपका सुझाव बहुत अच्छा है सर। मैं आपके सुझाव को हमारी बोर्ड मीटिंग जो होगी उसमें टेबल करूंगा और देखते हैं क्या चर्चा होती है उस पर।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। मैं सबसे 10 साल से आपका इन्वेस्टर हूं और हमेशा बना रहूंगा।
बहुत बहुत आभार आपका और उम्मीद करते हैं कि आपके विश्वास पे हम सदा खरे उतरेंगे और जो आप उम्मीद हमसे कर रहे हैं उसके लिए हमारी टीम दिन रात मेहनत कर रही है और वो आपकी उम्मीदों पे जो है वो
बस सर, आपने पिछले 10 साल में डिविडेंड खूब दिया, एक बोनस ही नहीं दिया, इसके लिए जरूर बोर्ड में रखें आप, क्योंकि ताकि इन्वेस्टर का थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़े कि कोई बात नहीं, 2 साल तकलीफ में निकले हैं पर कंपनी हमारे साथ है, शेयर होल्डर के साथ में।
बिल्कुल चर्चा करेंगे इसमें हमारे बोर्ड से सर। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
थैंक यू सर।
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is time constraint. That was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the floor over to the management for their closing remarks. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for your participation and time on this earnings calls today. And I hope that we responded to your queries adequately today. And we'll always be happy to be of assistance through our investor relations department headed by Mr. Prasoon Pandey for all your further inquiries. Take care everyone and stay safe. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Good day.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of DB Corp Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining us, and you may now